to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen, and before we get into today's video, just a reminder, some great news. The design of experiments for 21st century engineers, the Minitab version, has just been released. I know for those of you unfortunate enough to have selected Minitab, you have a great deal of difficulty in understanding this software. So we've created this special version of this text with the Minitab screenshots. The link to lulu.com where you can buy this book is in the description below. And of course, you also have the option of purchasing Drink Tea and Read the Paper, which is the perfect book to go with your green belt or Six Sigma black belt training. The link to lulu.com for that book is also in the description below. And of course, the other thing that we'd really love you to do, please go to buymeacoffee.com and make a small donation. All of these things, the purchase of the books and the donations, they help keep the channel moving. I'm really grateful to all of those people who are currently donating. Many thanks for your support and your help. And now, let's get on with today's video. Welcome to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen, and the subject of today's video, well, we're going to talk about how you know if you're lean or not. More to the point, how do you know when you're definitely not lean? Are you lean? Yes or no? So I'm just going to talk about some behaviors, some things that you would see that you can assess yourselves and you can go, oh, okay, we've got a long way to go, or maybe, oh, we're brilliant, we haven't got any of those. So I'm just going to go through a list. We're just going to look at them as individual talking points, I suppose. The first one is, you say, we've done lean. If you ever say that, you definitely haven't got a clue what you're doing. You definitely are a million miles from being a lean company. Toyota have been trying to do lean for 75 years. And they know that they're still not done. In fact, they know that they're only halfway down the journey that they could go on. And actually, I think it'll take them longer than 75 years to do the other half. So if you're saying we've done lean, what's next? Forget it. You're a mile away from being a lean company. What else? You think 5S is for tidying up. Five S is the most brilliant continuous improvement technique. It is the most brilliant process stabilization technique. It has the potential to make bucket loads of money. If you use it for tidying up, man alive, you're wasting your time. And by the way, just to make this worse, you have a clean desk policy in the offices. If you do that, you have no idea what 5S is for. You have no idea the power of it. And therefore, you are a million miles away from being lean. By the way, and we'll add a last one in. You call it 6S. 5S is a process. It's a set of 5 doing words. The 6th S is normally safety. I can't do safety. I think it's a noun. It's a naming word. I can't do it. There isn't an event to do. There isn't an action to take. Whereas if you go sort, set in order, maintain, standardize, do continuous improvement. They're all telling you to do something. Then the sixth S is then do safety. Safety is an output from the 5 S's, and that's the way it should be. Forget these extra S nonsenses. If you're doing that, not a clue. What else could we have here? Your process audits. Your process audits take 3 hours. Five S is all about visual management. It's about creating visual management. It's about walking through the area, making everything easy to see the status, easy to spot an abnormality. If you're doing brilliant 5S, working on continuous improvement, visualizing all the rules on your shop floor, your process audit, I always make a challenge to my clients. A process audit should take 10 minutes. Now you can't always get it to 10 minutes, but if you're currently taking 3 hours, you can see you're a mile away from being visual. If you are a mile away from being visual, your audits take forever. If you can't see the status of your shop floor, neither can your people and your operators. The opportunity to improve is immense. Are you lean? Definitely no. Okay, what else we got? Your on-time delivery is terrible. Your on-time is poor. I have work colleagues who I've worked with in lean implementations. They're brilliant at implementing pull systems and things. They would say, if you just implement a sensible pull system, you can be at 100% on time in full in probably about a year. It's really easy to do. If your on-time delivery is down in the 80s, 60s, 70s, and by the way, be honest, don't keep moving the date and comparing it to the new date. What was the original customer request? If your on-time delivery is poor, you're definitely not lean. Linked to that, maybe you think stock is the enemy. People go to conferences and things, they see what people do with lean, they see that they're relatively stock free, they've got low levels of stock holding. The senior manager comes back, usually a financial guy, and he goes, okay, we're going to cut our stock levels in half. You cut your stock levels in half and your factory falls to bits. Brilliant. If you think stock is the enemy, you're missing the point. Stock is a tool. Therefore, you put the right amounts in the right place. If you do that, by the way, this is dead easy to do. Stock is a tool. If you don't think of stock as a tool and then you put the right amount in the right place, in a deliberate way, by the way, not just, I think I need a bit of stock because the reliability of my plant's not great, so the planner just winds the stock up. No, that's rubbish. You deliberately decide, you work it out. I need 30 pieces sitting there every morning at 9 o'clock. Stock is a tool. That's when you know you're beginning to get lean. What else have we got? Here's another one. You apply the 7 wastes. To people. Worse than that, you had an 8th waste. Man alive. You apply the 7 wastes to people. The 7 wastes are all about the product. What's happening to the product? What's the product doing? It's waiting, it's sitting in inventory, it's being over processed, it's being defective. The 7 wastes are all about the product. The minute you start applying wastes to the people, you'll never get it. You have no clue what lean is. So get away from that. We've spent 100 years trying to get people productivity. We've been very good at it, by the way. But now, usually the cost of people is about 10% of your cost base. If you apply the 7 wastes properly, they tackle the 90% of your cost base. Surely you'd want to do that. Okay, so don't apply the lean wastes to people. What else have you got here? You change the production plan. You change the production plan probably every day. Again, stock is a tool. If you were using stock as a tool properly, you wouldn't have to change the production plan at all. When I work for Sony's, apart from the odd molding tool breaking, we never change the production plan, ever. It's just such a bad behavior and creates absolute chaos. And you definitely won't be lean if that's the status you're currently in. Okay, so no, another one, you're not lean. You change the Kanban levels. Monthly. Oh wow. What are you doing? Kanban levels maybe should get changed once a year. Now, don't get me wrong, the COVID thing has blown the supply chains up a bit. So if you're doing something specifically because some craziness is going on about getting containers across from China at the moment, then fair enough. But if you change Kanban levels every month, up, down, pointless. You are definitely not lean. It's a total misunderstanding of what a Kanban is. The Kanban is designed to deal with the variability. So when you see numbers going up a little bit and numbers going down a little bit, you don't need to touch the Kanban. The Kanban deals with it. You're over processing, to use one of the 7 wastes. So you're definitely not lean if you're moving your Kanban levels once a month. What else have we got here? You concentrate on productivity, not flow time. Now this kind of goes to this one as well here. That's the same sort of problem. You're concentrating on your people and you're not concentrating on your parts. Flow time, after all, is the residence time. If the material arrives on the 1st of the month and the goods leave with that material in it on the 21st, it's the total time that your material sits in the belly of your factory is flow time. And what you're trying to do, of course, is to reduce that time over and over and over again. And if you do anything that violates that, you would immediately reject it as a good idea for process improvement. So you're concentrating on the people, you apply the 7 wastes to the people, you concentrate on productivity, not flow time. It's a similar sort of problem. And the last thing that you're often doing is you use random storage. Random storage in the warehouse. Again, if you want to make the warehouse as difficult to manage as you possibly can, use random storage. Lean warehouses have fixed locations with fixed quantities. So you would have a location, we'll call it 1A in the warehouse. it has a maximum, it has a minimum, and it always contains part XYZ. This is the most popular item in your warehouse, so where do you put it? Closest to the door, so that it has the minimum amount of travel time. Random storage, you can't do that. You're trying to use a computer to manage everything, to get efficiency, to put the items closest to the door, etc. And you hope the computer knows what it's doing. You are clearly not using stock as a tool, because if you were, you'd be able to store with fixed locations. You would have the most efficient warehouse, the smallest warehouse, the least amount of forklift trucks and the least amount of people. But if you store in a random fashion, you are guaranteed to be spending bucket loads of additional cash unnecessarily. So these are all the things that you could be doing to say yes or no, we're doing lean. It would be great to hear from you. Let's drop some comments below. Tell me, have you got some of these? Have you got all of them? Or do you really think you're a fantastic lean organization and you've got none of them? By the way, if you've got all of these, that's fantastic news, because you have the power to make bucket loads more cash by removing all of this bad behavior and going really lean. So let's see if we've got these behaviors. Let's get rid of them, and let's get you all making so much more money.